Hi, it's Mr. Polochak, and today I'm in Riverhead, New York at Long Island Aquarium. Today we're going to be meeting with some of the trainers so that we can see how they get the animals on exhibit to display very specific behaviors. This is part of our ecology unit and the animal behavior chapter. So let's go inside and have a look around. Alright you guys, so here we are in front of the sea lion exhibit. I am joined by Nicole and some of the other trainers, and they're going to share with us some information about how they train the sea lions. Hi Nicole, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So one of the first questions that we have that the students submitted is, how do you get an inexperienced sea lion or a young sea lion to start to exhibit behaviors that you want?
That's a great question. So a lot of what we work on with our animals in the very beginning is building a strong and trusting relationship. So to do that, we want to build a very strong reinforcement history, meaning that we want the animals to understand that they are going to consistently get primary reinforcement, so things that are biologically reinforcing, like food, from us, and that we're going to give it to them in a high magnitude or volume. So before we work with an animal like Java, as you can see Janine working with him, we spend a very long time just cleaning up after them, walking through their habitat, doing shows with them where we're announcing, and they kind of get to know us. And then from there we'll do smaller feeds where we're just giving them all that reinforcement. They don't have to exhibit any behaviors. And then we're able to work towards training them to do some things like targeting. And that's the first behavior that we train our animals to do. That's what they're demonstrating right there, where Java is placing and holding his nose to his trainer's fist. Now that's something that animals are going to naturally exhibit because it's a curiosity, so he's going to want to sniff, check it out, and from there we're able to reinforce that, and then we can use that as a step to build other behaviors. So we can have them follow that target around and form a circle.
So it's a very close bond that you form.
It is.
And then does that mean that one trainer is designated the trainer for that animal, or can you all?
So we like to think of our animals as going to school every day. So you guys see different teachers to learn different things. Our animals see different trainers to learn differently as well. Each one of us is going to train slightly differently from the other. So on the sea lion team currently there's about 5 of us that work with the sea lions, and each one of us will work with each of them. With that being said, Java does have a primary trainer as well as the rest of our animals. I am Java's primary trainer, and what that means is that I'm just responsible for his medical care, making sure he receives his vaccinations, that he gets his blood draws done on time, that his heart is listened to, and that he's just nice and healthy. And we want it to just be one person because that's going to be the person that he needs to develop the strongest bond with.
That's great. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It is a very rewarding job.
How long does it take, I guess on average, for them to master a signal to behavior?
Sure, so it depends on the animal and it depends on the complexity of a behavior. So something like a simple whisper where Java opens and closes his mouth repeatedly, he learned within a couple months. Something more complex where Java was learning to wiggle, so he's learning to just move his rear flippers back and forth on the ground. That took 2 years for him to master. So it can be a wide variety of things. So this is going to be Java's wiggle. So that took him quite a while to master. It's just something that was different for him. But something like giving a kiss, where he's just basically targeting our face, that was a really quick, easy one. And that's also because Java's an animal that's geared towards staying still, and he is a very calm animal. He's not super high energy, so doing a backflip is not something that is going to be setting Java up for the most success for us. So we're going to pick some of those behaviors that allow us to work really well with Java and for him to work really well with us.
I love it. This is excellent. You know, I can remember as a kid watching some of the shows like this, and it inspired me to study biology, and I always thought, oh, I'm going to be a trainer.
It's amazing.
And I would watch from the stands and watch the interaction between the trainers and the animals and watch for the signals, and just thought, man, if I could get the animal's attention, if I could give that signal, would it listen to me? And I would always wonder, so are the signals that you use for a certain behavior, are they a universal sign that all trainers use? Or
No, so they're each unique, and it's kind of up to the trainer. When we decide that we're going to train a behavior, we write a behavioral plan. So we write down all the steps that we're going to take to train that behavior, the criteria that we expect out of that behavior, and then we'll turn that in. We'll receive some corrections from our director, we'll make some adjustments, and then we can go forth and start training. So even if I were to go up to Java right now and ask him to do something, I don't have any reinforcement with him. I'm not doing anything at this point in time with him. He's unlikely to exhibit that behavior for me. With that being said, Java is trained to accept cues from different people. So if Janine were to come over next to me and ask me to ask Java for some things, he's going to exhibit those behaviors for me. But otherwise, unfortunately, no. So anecdotally, we might have some universal signals like a wave or things like that, but that just happens to be up to whoever decided to train it that way.
And it sounds from what you've explained that a lot of the behaviors you want exhibited are something that the kids learn in class called, it's called operant conditioning, where it's reward or punishment. You use a reward system here for a specific behavior, but is there any type of training that uses classical conditioning where they use an arbitrary stimulus that would trigger behavior?
So we do, like you say, we operate under operant conditioning. So we're going to have our consequence control that behavior's frequency. So we want that behavior to happen more frequently. We're going to reward it. That way it'll happen. But with that being said, we do all the time end up having classical condition happen. So for instance, Java knows when he hears that show music, it's time for a feed. It's going to happen.
And then one of the other ones that they learn is something called habituation, where a stimulus initially triggers a response, but then they see there's no reward or punishment associated with it, so then they stop paying attention to that stimulus. Are there things around here that the animals have habituated to?
Absolutely. So in our field, we commonly call it desensitizing an animal to different things. So as you can see, Java is completely desensitized to us being over here talking, different people coming through, music being played. It's not going to affect him anyway. Same with fireworks and the forth. That's something that he's experienced, so he knows that nothing's going to happen. But we also work on desensing him to all kinds of things. We have a squeeze behind me that we'll utilize for medical purposes. If we need to have Java go in for a surgery, needed to be anesthetized, he'd have to enter into that squeeze. Now that squeeze makes some pretty weird noises, so we have to get Java used to those sounds, and just getting him used to that. That's just a part of life, and that nothing's going to happen from it. He's not going to be punished for it. He's not going to be rewarded for it, and it's just things that are going to happen.
And so if a student wanted to do more work and studies to become a trainer, what are some of the things they can do to wind up in this field?
Absolutely. So the number one thing to do is to get a college degree in a science-related field, any science-related field. It can be biology, chemistry, environmental sciences, anything like that. And from there, it's a lot of interning and volunteering, so a lot of free labor. And you're going to do that for a couple years before you can land a position. The biggest advice that I can tell anyone that wants to be a trainer is do not give up. Always stay focused on your dream. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear that yes, but when you hear that yes, it's going to open all those doors and it's going to change everything. With that being said, if you're interested in interning and volunteering, you can reach out to your local facilities and see if they have programs available. Most places will require you to be in college or recently graduated from college in order to intern. But until then, you can do things like volunteering at an animal shelter and doing all those other types of things that you can do to get experience with these animals and with the trainers.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Okay. All right, you guys, so that's our day at Long Island Aquarium. I hope that helped. If you would like more information on Long Island Aquarium, you can click the link below. If you would like to see another video about innate behaviors, you can click up here. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, click right here. Okay, you guys, see you next time.
Yeah.